The Green Bay Packers Hall of Fame Incorporated continues its legacy series today by revealing a new bust of Packers legend Vince Lombardi. The unveiling ceremony took place at Lombardi Middle School in Green Bay this afternoon. The series recognizes Packers Hall of Famers in schools as alumni and honorees share stories with students, faculty, and the community. Lombardi was one of the most successful coaches in football, of course, taking the team to 5 NFL championships, including Super Bowls I and II. Organizers say not only was he remembered for his catchy sayings like, "The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary, so you must work before success," but also for turning his athletes into better men on the field and in life.
I think you all, if you met him, you'd have loved him. He every day when he said something, he said, "Listen to what I say." You don't just hear, you got to listen. It's the difference. And when he said something, it meant something.
This is the second bust in the series. A statue of former Packers head coach and general manager Curly Lambeau was placed at his alma mater, Green Bay East High School, in September of 2023.